Yo, 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 yo! What is going on, y'all? Happy fucking Friday. If you're watching this live, happy fucking Friday. Happy whatever day it is if you're watching this on a replay or on a watch party or on some other platform, or you may be watching the paid version of this, because I had this idea just spontaneously to do a masterclass and thought about a preparation and a little launch for it and scheduling and collecting emails and all that shit. And I was just like, fuck it, we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it right now. All the people who catch it live and who get to watch the replays at some point are going to get it for free. And then we will monetize this and put it somewhere at an investment somewhere. So welcome. Good to see you all. If you're watching live, don't be shy. Say hello. If you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching. Hashtag motherfucking replay. So the kind of backstory behind this was I've had numerous people tell me in the last week, you seem superhuman. You don't struggle. Doesn't seem like you struggle with anything. And even one person think that they were calling me out in love by saying you're not vulnerable enough. So you're not vulnerable enough because we never see your struggle. What's up, Dan? We never see you struggling, so you've got to have problems. And I pushed back on that. And I was like, no, it's possible that some people's life are actually that good that they're not hiding it all from you. They're just living to that degree. And I know we all have these ideas and theories that people's lives are portrayed on social media, and they're so much better in the portrayal than they actually are in real life. And all I have to say about that is that my life is better than what I can actually portray on social media. I've said this before, but I mean, I would have to create my own Patreon or OnlyFans to show all of how good my life is. And that's not just me. There are principles that I teach to all of my clients in everything that I do, whether it be one-to-one, in the mastermind, in Elevate, in new programs coming out, in Mastering Masculinity. There are things that I teach to help you to have an experience where it does not appear like you struggle. Now, do I struggle with things? Yeah, I have moments, but they are not my baseline, and my struggling moments do not become a pattern. They do not become momentum. They do not become an experience. Hi, Danielle. They do not become something bigger than a moment. And what this masterclass is going to be about is how I have cultivated a life that seems superhuman, that seems like I don't struggle, that seems almost unreal because it's so good. Hi, Arlene. Good to see you. Hola. So, I'm going to share 5 things with you guys today. Do you guys want to hear 5, we call them steps, principles, reasons? I'm going to say 5 reasons why I don't struggle. Do you guys want to know that? If you want to know that, write in the comments. I'm going to get some water. And if you want to know that, in addition to the comment, share it, tag somebody, let other people know, hey, the bishop's going to church right now on a Friday afternoon. You should probably watch this shit. And you're not calling somebody out and saying, hey, you struggle, you should probably learn this shit. Maybe you are. Maybe you are. And that's okay. We do it in love. We do everything in love. I'm calling you out in love. We just had this conversation and the bishop is here on TV, Facebook Live, whatever, letting you know. Who else is ready? You guys ready? All right, so the 5 reasons why I don't struggle. Number 1, I have a solid fucking foundation. I have a foundation in God and universal law and principle that allows me to lean into it in any moment. If you begin from the wrong perception of God or the wrong perception of yourself and your truth, or you don't really understand the way in which the universe works and operates, you will struggle. You will have moments of struggle. It doesn't matter what you do on the external. If you do not have a solid foundation, you will struggle. Just like building a house without a foundation, you can build this beautiful house, but if you don't have a solid foundation, you're going to have problems. A storm comes by, whatever comes by. Now, having a solid foundation, you can handle anything that's thrown at you. It's not that I don't have adversity in my life. Some of you know I have 4 kids by 3 different moms. I have a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts in my life. And I lead all of that. And everybody comes to me for everything. I support so many different people in different programs, in different situations, in different scenarios. I support so many people. So it's not about not having adversity or challenges. There's plenty of those. There's plenty of storms that are thrown my way all the time. It's how you navigate that matters. So the number one reason why I don't struggle is I have a solid fucking foundation in God and universal law. And so the ego, or parts of me that would want to disrupt things, has far less opportunity or ammunition against me. Now, if I begin from a place of separation from God, or begin from a place of effect, not recognizing and acknowledging my power to operate at cause, then I might be susceptible. But I have a foundation. This is something that I teach all of my clients, and everything that I do is to create, to generate, and to establish such a solid foundation that struggling becomes difficult, right? So you move from a baseline experience of struggle where you may have fleeting moments of joy and happiness. What's up, my man? To an experience where struggle is actually hard for you to do. It's hard to have an experience of struggle. I said this last year around Halloween time, how I created such an experience of joy and happiness in my life and peace in my life that I actually had to pay like $60 or whatever to go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios in order to experience fear, right? That's available for you if you will establish that foundation. So number one, if someone wants to write these in the comments, number one reason why I don't struggle, I have a solid foundation in God and universal law. I have a solid foundation in God and universal law. And because of that, shit's unshakable. Because of that, I'm unfuckwithable. Because of that, I'm bulletproof. And again, it's not because I don't have stressful things come up. I just know the truth, so I never have to participate in that. When you have such a solid foundation, you don't have to have an experience of fear because you know that you are supported and safe. You have something concrete. You have something constant and unchanging to lean into. And so if you don't have a foundation, when the shit hits the fan, you go with it. When you have a constant and continual trusting foundation, you stand in that foundation even when shit hits the fan. That's number one. Number two, I don't struggle because I've mastered, to some degree, I'm not done yet, obviously, but I've mastered awareness of my inner world, and I know what to look for and what to shift. I have a personal awareness of how my inner world creates my external. I know how to look at and to observe my thoughts. I know how to tune into my feelings and emotions. I know when to recognize that a pattern is creeping in. And so by knowing that and having that awareness, I know what to look for and what to shift in an instant. And something that I teach all of my clients are my very simple, very basic methods for shifting out of an illusion into the truth, or shifting out of fear into an experience of love. And my clients experience abundance and wealth coming into their life because of that. My clients experience easy quantum leaps. I have a client who just experienced a massive quantum leap in moving in their life, and they're going to teach this shit to other people because it's so fucking good. And you can make big leaps in your life. You can change things drastically in an instant if you have a foundation and an ability to co-create and cultivate the life that you want. If you understand that at a deep level, it's so fucking easy. So I have a mastered awareness of my inner world, and I know what to look for, right? I know what to look for that would potentially create struggle or create an experience of fear or an experience of lack or any of those things. I have an awareness of that. And so some of you are trying to create things on the external and it's not working, or to some degree it's working, but then it feels unshaky and unconstant and uncertain because you don't have a solid foundation and you don't have an awareness of what to look for in your inner world. That's number two. Thank you for those that are writing them down. Number three, I know how to unconditionally and non-negotiably non-negotiably embody the energy that I want to live in. I would say, in terms of writing this down, I would say I cultivate my state and my energy. I intentionally or consciously cultivate my state and my energy. I intentionally or consciously cultivate my state or my energy. And because I do that proactively and preemptively, I get to live in the experience that I create. I am not living at the effect. I am not reacting to situations. I am not allowing anything that is my most important experience to be negotiable or dependent upon anybody or anything else. I'm never going to be in the energy of, well, we'll just wait and see what happens. I understand that I am operating at cause, so I cultivate my purpose emotions. I cultivate how I want to feel. I cultivate my energy, my frequency, and my vibration intentionally every single day. Thank you, Arlene. Intentionally and consciously cultivate my state and my energy. Hi, Stefan. If you're just joining us, this is an impromptu masterclass on the 5 reasons why I don't struggle. Number 1 was I have a solid foundation in God and universal law and principle. Number 2, I have mastered a level of awareness of my inner world, so I know what to look for. And number 3, I know how to intentionally and consciously cultivate a foundational state and energy to operate from. And if you begin with that every single day and you know how to return back to that in any instant, well, the opportunity for fear and struggle and stress doesn't even creep into your life. You are in such an offensive state of creating what you want that you don't have time or availability for the other shit. And this must be done intentionally, purposefully, and I teach it in my purpose workshop. I teach it to my mastermind. I teach it to Elevate. I teach it to these new programs I've created, including Mastering Masculinity. It is intertwined in everything that I do because it is that fucking important. You cannot wait to react. You must be on the offensive in creating the state that you want to live in. And then from there, you can make simple shifts as you need to, but you create a baseline state of love, of peace, of happiness, of joy, of bliss. And what you decide to come from, you will experience yourself living in. So when I come from abundance, I understand that that is my baseline and what I've cultivated for myself. Of course, I have experiences of abundance. What I choose to live in joy or happiness or freedom, and I cultivate those for myself, of course, all that's reflected back to me in the world are those experiences, right? So what you cultivate, what you decide to come from or live in is what you get to experience. What you choose at cause is going to be the effect, right? And we're not doing any of this unintentionally. It's conscious and intentional, and it's creating a baseline. It's creating habits. It's getting shit programmed into your subconscious to where this is all happening, even if you're not focusing on it, right? So we consciously create a scenario that is operating almost on its own, and anytime where we need a disruption or an interrupt of a pattern that we're going through, or there's a lot of chaos in our life, we can come back to this and cultivate the state that we want to live in. We live in an unconditional state of joy no matter what. When that becomes your baseline and all you're available for, that is what you will experience. And you may experience chaos, you may experience moments where they tried to steal your joy, but you at cause don't fucking allow it to happen. So that's 3. Number 4, I'm just not available to struggle or anything that resembles struggle. Okay, I am unavailable to anything other than what I want to experience. And some people don't understand this. Some people are grasping the concept that when you set a standard, when you set a minimum, you will not drop below that minimum. And all that you experience is what you are available for. Okay, write that down. Everything I experience is what I am available for. What I'm available for because that's what I thought I was worthy of. That's what I thought was possible. That's what I really wanted. That's what I felt was safe. Whatever it is, at subconscious level, all you have experienced in your life up until now is what you were available for at cause. So when I decide I'm not available for an experience of struggle, not only energetically am I not a match for anything that resembles struggle, but I also will continually take action that creates thriving scenarios in my life, or whatever the opposite you see of struggling is, that is what I'm creating. So energetically, I'm unavailable to that. But in my energetic unavailableness to that, I am constantly cultivating, creating an experience that is so far away from struggle that it doesn't even seem like a reality. It doesn't even seem like a possibility in so many moments. So that's number 4. I'm not available to anything resembling struggle. My standard is high. And some of you just need to simply raise your fucking standard. And it's something that I challenge people in everything that I offer to constantly do, is to constantly raise the bar, raise the fucking standard. You guys ready for number 5? Number 5 is going to sound pretty simple, but it's brilliant and I stand by it. Number 5, I have support in place always. I have support in place always. So call this make support non-negotiable. Always have support in place. Proactively or preemptively put support in place, whatever you want to call it, but support non-negotiable in my life. And the reason why that is, we said that I've mastered my inner world. We said that I cultivate the feelings and emotions that I want to feel. We said that I have a solid foundation, but there's still an element where I may not see something that's going on, where I may not see where I'm potentially sabotaging. I may not see where something slipped through the cracks and I have actually made myself available and susceptible to some experience of struggle. But having support in place, non-negotiable, constant, unchanging, unconditionally, we catch everything. We catch the shit that would and often shows up at the level of effect in other people's lives. We catch it at cause. So having non-negotiable, unconditional, proactive and preemptive support in my life ensures that I am not slipping back. And if something is identified at the level of cause before it has the opportunity to manifest into the world as an effect of struggle or stress or fear or anything like that, we cut the motherfucking head off. And so some of you may have parts of these. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3, or maybe you're doing some of these things, but you don't have non-negotiable support, or you haven't created a foundation first, and that's why you're staying available to an experience of struggle. Have support in place preemptively and proactively always. The reason it doesn't appear that I ever struggle is because we catch that shit at cause before it's outpictured and the effect. That's how extraordinary people operate. Extraordinary people have great support in place already so that they don't have to wait until it shows up as a problem to address it. They address problem at the level of energy. So as soon as the energy feels off, as soon as something doesn't feel right, we investigate and we examine and we figure out what that is so that I never have to have the experience of reacting to a problem in my life or to some level of struggle. Before it can show up at the effect, we have addressed it at cause. Before it can show up at the level of effect, before it's experienced, before it's noticed, before it shows up on page 6 or TMZ or anything like that, it is caught at the level of cause. And extraordinary people are always expanding and growing. And because they have great support in place, they can move through new levels of success, new levels of everything that they do, because they have that support in place, because it's non-negotiable, because they catch everything. 3 a.m. where Janet's at. Too awesome. Love you too. Too much not to want to hear what you have to say. Love you. Hope you are well on the other side of the world. Have an amazing time living the very best life. You get to have and determine what level of support you want in your life. Make it constant, make it consistent, make it non-negotiable, and you will have the experience that you want to have. So those are my 5 reasons why you don't see me struggling. I'm going to recap them one more time. Number 1, I have a solid foundation in God and universal law. Number 2, I've mastered awareness around my inner world and I know what the fuck to look for. Not just in myself, but I know what to look for in my clients as well. Number 3, I know how to, or let me say, I embody the cultivation or cultivating a state and energy that I want to live in. I proactively and preemptively cultivate a state to live in. And because I do that proactively, that's what I live in. That's what I experience. I come from the experience that I want to have. And so, of course, I experience that. law of correspondence. I am always experiencing what is going on within. So I know how to cultivate it within first so that it gets out pictured in the right way. Number 4, I'm just not available for any experience of struggle. I'm not available for that in my awareness. I'm not available for that in my consciousness. So I'm damn sure not available for it showing up in my world in any way. And lastly, number 5, I have support in place, non-negotiable always, unconditional, preemptive, and proactive so that any disruption at the level of cause does not get to the level of being outpictured at the level of effect. I cut that shit off, cut its balls off before it ever gets the chance to show up as a fucking problem. So, there's the masterclass. Quick, easy, take those 5 principles and build them into your life. Decide right now, I'm going to establish a foundation that is so rock solid and strong that I can't be fucked with. Decide right now that you're going to master the inner awareness and understanding of how you actually cultivate what you want. Number 3, you decide right now that unconditionally you're going to learn to cultivate proactively so that you don't ever get into an energy of having to react or to respond. You are aggressive. You are offensive in turning your life into the experience that you want to have. Number 4, you raise your standard and become unavailable to anything. And number 5, put non-negotiable fucking support in place. Do not fuck around with this shit. Your life, your purpose, your expression, all of those are too fucking important for you not to have these things in place and for you to in any way be available to struggle. If you don't have these things in place, you're welcoming struggle into your life. And that's just not fucking necessary. We cannot have it. It's costing you and everybody that you're meant to impact and serve far too fucking much. So draw a fucking line in the sand right now. If you're watching this live in 2019 or you're watching this on a replay, you're watching this on anything, draw a line right now and move forward. If you feel called to work with us in any way, I have things to offer you. Doesn't matter what year it is. If you feel called to work with us, message us and let us know. Send us an email, do something, and we will talk about the best way to support you and teach you how to create and cultivate all these things in your life. And if it's not me, get it from somewhere. By God, fucking get it from somewhere because you're worthy, you're deserving, and your purpose is too big for you to be experiencing struggle, which is just a placeholder for the purpose that you're meant to be experiencing, right? The struggle that you're experiencing, the drama, the stress, the health problems, all of that is just a distraction from what you are meant to be experiencing. So draw the fucking line and put the support in place. I love you all so much. Can't wait to hear from you. Share this if this resonates with you. If this is still available free, again, I said this will live somewhere as a paid option, but you guys experiencing it live, you get that. Love you all so much. Have an amazing fucking Friday or whatever day it is as you're watching this in the future. I love you all so much. Peace.